everyone, my name is Nataliia Dolzhenkova. I'm an English teacher at school number 18, and today's our topic is virtual trip around Europe, or what is the European Union? Let's move on to our virtual trip around Europe. And we also want to answer for the question, what is the European Union? If you look through this map, you can also see that Europe is a part of the continent Eurasia. There are more than 50 independent countries occupied in Europe. Europe is washed by the Arctic Sea to the north, the Atlantic Ocean and the North Sea to the west, and the Mediterranean and the Black Sea to the south. Have you ever thought about the origin of the name Europe? This name, it was given by a legendary Phoenician princess Europa. Who was this princess? She was a figure from a Greek mythology, from whom later her name was named this part as Europe. Now, I'm going to retell you this magnificent, magic myth about the origin of the name Europe. Have you ever heard? I know, I'm definitely sure that you heard about him. The ruler of Olympian gods, Zeus, saw her and overwhelmed with her beauty. Zeus hatched a plan that saw him transform himself into a perfect white bull and made his way to the shore where Europa was gathering flowers. Zeus, a white bull, made sure that he appeared to the tame and even was allowed this woman to pet him. Zeus lay down at the feet of Europa, and she eventually decided to see whether he was tame enough to ride. With Europa on his back, Zeus spots his opportunity and ran off her into the sea. The white bull, with Europa still on his back, eventually arrived on the shores of Crete. At which point, that means where, Zeus changed himself back into his original form. You know that Europa agreed to be his lover and even bore him 3 sons. Later on, Europa married Asterion, the king of Crete, and after that, she became, listen, the first queen of Crete. That's, you listen, the one of the myth about the origin of the name Europa. Be attentive, because at the end of our lesson you will have some questions about this. Let's go on, and what can I say? Onto this map you can see one of the most powerful organizations in our today's world, one which we usually called the European Union, where lived more than 446 million people, and more than 28 countries has their own membership in this family of democratic countries. I also want to remind you that there are some symbols of the European Union, such as the European anthem, the European flag. We talk about this symbol a bit later. The Europe Day, which in most European countries celebrate on the 9th of May. The currency of the European Union, the euro, and the most important aim of this organization. In another way, I can say that the motto is united in diversity. Let me think. Diversity. Okay. More than 28 countries. Imagine that. 446 million people who lived on the territory of the European Union. That is the same, different languages, but they are unique in one motto: to work together for peace and prosperity. I say that I want to say some more words about the flag of the European Union. You need to know that it was introduced only in 1955. You can also read from my poster that the European flag symbolizes both the European Union and, more broadly, the identity and unity of the whole Europe. It features a circle of 12 gold stars on a blue background. They stand for the ideal of unity, solidarity, harmony among the whole people in Europe. And I want that you look through this number 12. As do you know about that? That number 12 is the symbol of perfection and order for most of the European countries. Interesting fact about the flag. Before I start to tell you about fundamental rights, which are very important to the whole Europeans, I need to say they historical roots of the European Union lie in the Second World War. The idea of the European integration was put forward to prevent such killing and destruction from even happening again. Never again. All the European Union decisions are based on some treaties which are agreed by all the European countries. Originally, the European Union considered of just only 6 countries. Imagine that. That it was started from 6 countries. They are Belgium, Germany, France, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands only. After that, these countries signed the treaty in 1951. After, a bit later, Denmark, Ireland, and Great Britain also joined in 1973. In 1981, to this community of democratic countries also joined Greece. A bit later, Spain and Portugal. And more than 10 other countries in 2004. And the last one was Croatia, which joined to this community only in 2013. Okay, I say a lot of countries. A plenty of them we have already known, but let's remind, what is the number of countries which are reached the European Union? Okay, 25, as it was in 2012, or 28? Yeah, you are absolutely right that number of countries in the European Union reached to 28 countries. So now the majority of these countries in Europe belong to the European Union. Some countries are still trying and still wanting to be inside this democracy society. And the single currency, which I have mentioned before, the euro, was introduced at first only for 11 countries. And a bit later, in 2002, became the currency of 12 countries. The main offices where you can find all the leaders of this democracy society are in Brussels. Let's do sums. Today, the European Union deals with the problems of citizens, freedom, justice, security, and even religious. It helps to raise standards of living and rebuild or build a European market. If you look through this slide, that is the fundamental rights which stood close to the motto, unity in diversity. In 54 chapters and only 6 titles, you can learn more about dignity, freedoms, equality, solidarity, citizens' rights and justice. And I want to say about the day which is going on this Friday, and in most European countries it is usually celebrated on the 9th of May, begin to celebrate, yeah? And in our country, the 3rd weekend of May, there is a tradition in Ukraine to celebrate and honor our unity with other European countries. Don't forget about this day, because nevertheless, we have some problems. We can't join in big groups, but we can join some webinars, open online courses which are also connected with these European fundamental points and be in a unity with other European countries. Now, I want to do some quiz with you after our lesson. The first question is, which of the following European cities is not a national capital? Is it Brussels? Is it Vienna? Or maybe Zurich? Let's have a look. That is Zurich. The next question, which of these countries are not bordered with Germany? Italy, Czech Republic, or Denmark? Let's move on. That is Italy. If you remind our map, you can see that. Which of the following European countries is not a member of the European Union, is still trying to be inside this democracy community? Slovenia, Portugal, or Norway? I pay your attention into the word is not. That is Norway. Good job. Tallinn is the capital of which Eastern European country? Let's look through these variants, and you are absolutely sure that is Estonia. The next, but not the last question, in which European country are both Flemish and French languages are spoken? What do you think about the question? Belgium, maybe it's Switzerland, or Netherlands? Let's move on, and in both of these languages are spoken in the Netherlands. The city which is both famous for its music, we can't imagine this city without it, and also the capital of Austria. You know this answer, yeah? I think so. That is, yeah, Vienna. You can see Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa in this museum. Let's think geographically, and is it the smallest country in the European Union, the Vatican? No. Is it the Tate Gallery in London? I don't think so. Yeah. You can find these magnificent work of these famous artists only in the Louvre. And the last, and maybe it can be the most difficult question, because you need to remember our fundamental rights. The Charter of Fundamental Rights in the European Union are: A. Justice, equality, dignity, freedoms, solidarity, and citizens' rights. Or maybe goods, services, people, capital, opportunities for business, and protection. Or maybe no. Maybe it can be also sustainable growth. Yeah, we have already said about this. Security, yes, but not in so slow motion. Citizenship, economical, social, territorial cohesion, and competitiveness. Do you guess what is the right variant? That is variant A. And before I come to the end, I want to say some words which are connected with background information about Europe Day. In general, there are two separate Europe Days. One of these days is to remember the Council of Europe's establishment, which was taken place on the 5th of May in 1948. And the second one to commemorate the Schuman Declaration, the Schuman Declaration on the 9th of May 1950, who was proposed to all these democracy society to create a new organization of states in Europe, the European Union. And the last option which I also want to add, that is, you need to know, if you are going to be a real European people, you need to know briefly about their motto, their fundamental points of view, which are very important for them. And more than 50 countries, that is our Europe. More than 450 million people who are all of different nationalities. They are all spoken different languages, but they live in peaceful coexistence and economic cooperation. They help each other. They support each other and join the other countries around itself. Thank you. I wish you good luck. You are real European people, and see you next week.